So glad that you all could join us today. So thank you and a very warm welcome. So today we are going to go through three-step guide to emotional wellness with Ekta Sibil, who's India's number one self-transformation and meditation expert. So a lot of you do know me. I'm Sukirti Gupta. I'm one of the co-founders of Sipping Thoughts. Sipping Thoughts is a multi-platform media company that was co-founded by me and by Meeta Gurgutia. It was set up keeping in mind the tagline, Real Women, Real Thoughts. We are a space for real women to be heard and a no judgment platform. Our goal is to create a network of women for women. Sipping Thoughts is, of course, available on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and of course, please do check out our website. Yes, emotional wellness has become a priority and a priority for all of us these days. So we're hoping that in this workshop that you will actually, it's very going to be very interactive. You will learn the different ways to relieve stress. You will experience a powerful framework to bring a shift in your mindset. And we will also be having a guided meditation to create inner strength and inner happiness. We're very excited to have Ekta with us today. Welcome, Ekta, to Sipping Thoughts.
Thank
Ekta
you so much.
Ekta is a globally recognized gifted energy healer, an international meditation expert, and award winning India's number one self transformation specialist, and has also been conferred as the Global Wellness Ambassador at the Global CIO Forum. She has given talks at Apollo Hospital to the frontline workers and has shared her views with ambassadors, top political leaders of the country, and also to the President, Honorable Vice President of India, Sri Venkaiah Naidu. She is listed among the top 50 global leaders and transformation champions by Business Transformation Publications in the UAE. So we're very, very honored to have Ekta with us. Ekta, welcome to Sipping Thoughts. And I would like to kick off this session by asking you, how did you get started in the wellness space? And what are some of the main issues that you are seeing that are emerging as we are going through this pandemic and through the lockdown?
Thank you so much, Sukirti, for having me here. Is there an echo?
A little bit.
Okay. Anyway, I'll continue. So I was saying that thank you so much for having me here, and it's a pleasure to be a part of this particular talk with Sipping Thoughts. And coming to your question, how did it all begin
Ekta,
with
maybe
me?
just take a moment to just turn off the other volume because there is an echo. There's like
Okay,
a,
it shouldn't be. I mean, is it better now?
it's like a humming sound.
I have no clue. I mean, there's nothing that I can do.
Okay.
I felt it in the beginning, but now it's fine. How
There,
is it now?
perfect. Awesome. Great. Thank
Yeah,
you for that. Sorry about
yeah.
that. But yes, we
No,
always say, please forgive us for any technology issues because sometimes it does
yeah,
happen.
sometimes these glitches happen. Okay. Is it fine now? Okay. I just saw myself to be muted. Yes. So I was saying that how did it all begin with me? Well, it began, um, I would say, a decade ago when I was working. I was, in a corporate environment, and I could sense that there was something that I wanted to do, but I was probably not hearing my inner self, and that's where the inner self transformation began for me. And I started realizing that I need to do something that I personally believe in. I personally am really passionate about. And that's when my journey of meditation began. So I started meditating, and through meditation, there were a lot of questions that got answered about my own life, about how I want to lead my life. And that's when the journey of wellness began, because as those answers started getting the questions started getting answered, I realized that there were a lot of things which were all in my hand, and I wasn't realizing it. I wasn't really working towards it. So when I started putting conscious efforts in making certain changes in my life, I realized that there was a whole lot of transformation that happened in terms of not just my own thought process, but also the life that, I lead. In fact, the people around me as well. And well, that's how the whole journey began. And then I started helping people with the same things that I, experienced. So I'm also a gifted energy healer. Now, that was also a part of my life, which I wasn't really accepting it for a very long time. I was in denial for it. But then when I started actually working towards it, I started practicing it even more with, more with passion and more with that zeal to do something for others. That also changed a lot of my life, and also in that process I could bring change in others, other people's lives as well. So yeah, I would say it all began then, and then it has been only going strong, and I've been blessed, I would say, that I'm been able to help others. So yeah,
I'd
that's how it all
like you to
began.
put a little bit light, of course, at the frontline workers, and you have been actually doing a lot of webinars with them. You've done it with Apollo, you've done it with other hospitals. So
Yes.
just give us some of your experience from that also.
uh, See, with the frontline workers, the experience has been very different. It has been very unusual only because of the fact that, uh, the kind of work that they are doing and the kind of pressures that they are dealing with. While dealing with those pressures, they have to work for others, they have to do things for others. So it's not easy. It's not, as a human being, it's not easy to consciously put your needs behind and do things for others as well. So when I do the sessions over there, I have seen that, they're so stressed out, so much under pressure, so much tired, exhausted, because of the kind of work that they're doing, the number of hours that they're putting in. And I mean, I feel blessed that I've been able to, give that back in some way to the society and to the people, wherein when I take them through the guided meditation, some of them even fall asleep, during the meditation. They actually get so relaxed that they fall asleep, or they are, completely, their body is not even in their control. It's like that. So I feel nice that, in those 5, 10, 15 minutes of meditation, if I'm able to let them, relax, let their exhaustion go, um, it's a big blessing that I'm able to do that. So yeah, that's how the things are, with the frontline workers.
Well, thank you for that. And thank you for being here with us. And I'll let you get started. I know you have an exciting session planned with us.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And thank you so much. So, before I begin the session, I would just take everybody through a few things that I'm going to be talking about in this session. Right from the beginning, that, it's all going to be about emotional wellness, how we can bring that emotional wellness in our lives. What can we do? What are those simple yet very powerful steps that we can take in order to bring that emotional wellness in our lives? We will be talking about that. So I'll be sharing a very powerful, proven method that I have used for myself. I have uh, shared it and suggested it to so many of my clients, and they have come back saying that it has really helped them. So I'm going to be sharing that with the entire audience today. And I hope that, it really helps everybody, whoever is listening into it. And I'll also be sharing a digital handout of whatever I'm going to talk about, a small snapshot of it, so that you can refer to it once the session is over, and you can probably paste it somewhere so that you keep reminding yourself of that, because that's the idea of this whole session. Um, Before I begin, I would like to ask a interesting and an introspective question from everybody. I don't want you to give answers right now, but I want you to think of those answers, because when you think about it, the more you'll think about it, the more you'll come closer to the solution, or to reach that answer what you're looking for. So that question is that, how many times has it happened that when you come across a difficult situation, when you come across a situation that you find is not an easy one to solve, how many times does it happen that the first thought that comes in your head is, I don't think I can do this, or it's too difficult, I don't think I have the capability of handling it, or I'm feeling so much stuck in this situation, in this problem. How do I get out of it? I can't get out of it. I don't have the capability to get out of it. How many times have you had these kind of thoughts? Now, like I said, it's an introspective question. Think about it. Think in your mind. Maybe you can think about it later also. Put some thought to it. Why I'm asking this question, or why have I asked you to think about this, is only because these thoughts that we put in our mind has a deep impact to our emotions, to our emotional wellness. Now, I would also want you to ask any questions in the chat box, in case if I can see some questions, and if I have to answer it, I'll answer it during the session, or I'll take it up after the session. But make sure that you put some questions, because that will really help me to go through the session in a more interactive and engaging manner. So like I said, this question, why did I ask you to introspect on it? Only because these words, these thoughts that you put in your head, they have a deep impact to your emotional wellness. Now, how does it have it? Now, why am I talking about these things is because a lot of times we are not aware of why we are thinking about something, or how are these thoughts getting generated in our mind. And when we get aware of these things, it's easy to take action on it, because the first part is awareness. The more you're aware about certain things about your life, you will see that you'll be able to find answers to it. You'll be able to find solutions to it. So that's the reason why I want you all to become consciously aware of certain thoughts or certain words that you're putting in your mind, because of certain experiences that you're having, or because of certain situations that you're facing. So that was the reason why I asked this introspective question. Now, these words, these thoughts that you put in your mind, which have, like I said, have a deep impact on you, how does it create that impact? So let's take a step back. Let's start from the perspective of saying that, whenever there is a difficult time or a difficult phase of my life, I tend to think like that. So what you're doing is you're creating certain doubts in yourself, you're creating certain fears in yourself, and that's the vicious circle that begins. So these doubts and these fears start building up because of the words that you say. So I said, like I said, few sentences and the statements that I made. Oh, I don't have the capability of handling this situation. Oh, I'm feeling so stuck in this situation. So what are these? These are certain words. Now, what have these words done is they have created a thought in your mind that I feel stuck in this particular situation. So this situation is not something that I want to deal with. So what has happened is that this has created a thought process in you, and you have started identifying yourself with that thought, with that word which was created. So word has created certain thoughts. Now, what do these words and thoughts do? Now, over a period of time, when you continue thinking in that particular way or in that particular direction, you create a belief system in yourself. You create a mindset which becomes a part of you. So every difficult situation that you come across, you will feel stuck in it. You will feel, no, I don't know. What can I do? I can't find a solution. I don't know how to find a solution because I don't think I have the capability to do anything. So this creates a mindset or a belief system in you. So you see there is a cycle on how it gets formed. So it starts with the words that we speak. Then that creates the thoughts that come in our mind, which leads to creating a mindset that we start following. We start building our mindset, our life around that mindset. And this is how the whole process of call it stress, call it overthinking, call it any kind of anxiety, panic attacks. This is how it all begins. It all begins with the simplest of the things, which are the words that we speak for ourselves, the words that we speak for our situation. And that's how the whole vicious circle gets formed. And it becomes like a circle, it keeps going round and round. Situations, words, thoughts, mindset. Then certain situations, words, thoughts, mindset. That's how the whole thing begins. So the awareness is very important, and there is a consciously driven awareness that you need to have in this. The more you're consciously driven towards that awareness, it will be easier for you to use certain, you know, solutions to it, which I'm going to also let you know in a while. Now, I have, heard and I have seen many people, they say, oh, think positive, be optimistic, think only the positive things, don't think about negative. There's nothing in thinking negative, or don't overthink. But nobody tells anybody how to start thinking positive, how to stop overthinking. Now, I get a lot of people who reach out to me for healing and for counseling as well. And a lot of times I've seen that the basic, reason for any problem to happen, whether it is a physical problem or an emotional issue, or even a relationship issue, the basic standpoint from where it all begins is from our thoughts, which we tend to overthink and overthink and overthink and go into that spiral. So, a lot of times I tell people that when they tell me that they are overthinkers, I say that, oh, if you're overthinkers, then what do you overthink on? So they would say, oh, we sometimes, get into this overthinking spree of what if this happens, and then it leads to that, and it goes into a different direction, and we get fearful about it. Or sometimes I get into a overthinking spree of why me, which is a very common thing. Everybody says, why me? Why does it have to happen to me? Why do I only have to go through all the problems? And then again, that, you go into an overthinking spree. So I always tell them that, there is a choice that you can make. And the choice is that overthinking is a habit. It doesn't go, or it will not go so fast or so soon, or just by the click of a hand or anything, or fingers. It will take some time. So what should you do? Now, you have a choice. You can overthink on fears. You can overthink on any negative thing that might happen. You can overthink on anything that pulls you down. Or the other choice is that you overthink about what is the good thing that can happen. What are the good things that can happen? What are the strengths that I have, which I can use? So that also can happen. And believe me when I say this, that there have been a lot of people, when I told them that, change your frame of thought. Instead of thinking negative, instead of thinking in that direction of being fearful, start thinking from a hopeful standpoint. What if you change your frame of thought from being fearful to becoming hopeful? And that's how the journey towards your wellness, your emotional wellness begins, because you begin to start changing your frame of thought. And from fearful to hopeful is a big leap, but if you are conscious, if you're consciously driven towards it, you will be able to do it. It's not something which is impossible. It's something that just requires some conscious efforts. So I'm going to be talking about those ways by which you can create that shift in your mindset. You can create that shift in your frame of thought from being fearful, doubtful, negative, any sort of pull down feeling, from being there to coming to a point where you feel hopeful, where you feel strong, where you feel positive about yourself, about the situation, where you think from a solution focused approach and not from a problem focused approach. You don't think this particular problem will lead to 100 more problems, but you think from the perspective of that this particular problem has a solution and I can find that solution. So that's the change I'm talking about. Now, how do we talk, or how do we go in that direction? How do we change our frame of thought? I'm going to be talking about 3-step guide, like Sukriti also mentioned, and like I also said, that this is a proven, beneficial, and a very powerful method that I have used, and I think I'm just trying to give it back to everybody, only because I know that it can really have a lot of benefits if we all start using it. The only part which I want from every one of you is that when you use it without any expectations, that you don't start expecting before you even start using these steps. And also the second part that I would want you all to do is that use it as a practice. Don't make it like I'll use it only when there is a problem. No, you have to use these techniques as a way of life. Change your complete way of life and bring that thought that this is to be used irrespective, whether I am in a good phase of my life or a bad phase of life, whatever it may be. But I'm going to think in this perspective or in this way only. So what are those three techniques? The first technique, now I talked about the words, thoughts, and mindset in the beginning. Now these three techniques also have an essence towards all these three things, the words, thoughts, and mindset. So I'm going to tell you how, but first let me talk about the techniques. The first technique is called plus plus three technique, is what I named it as. So anytime you come across a negative thought in your mind where you feel, like I said, where there is a doubt, there is a fear, there is any kind of negative feeling inside you, there is any kind of worrying feeling inside you, any kind of negative thought that comes in your mind, you break that thought, or you counter that thought with three positive thoughts. Now, these three positive thoughts can be random positive thoughts. It can be a thought of a good breakfast that you had in the morning, or if you woke up early in the morning, you saw sunrise happening and it made you feel happy. You can think about that, or a sunset in the evening. Think about that. A hug from your child. It can be that. It can be random and simple positive thoughts. Now, what is happening is a negative thought pops in your head where you get fearful suddenly that, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And suddenly you, as a person, consciously make an effort and say, okay, there is a negative thought popping in my head. I want to break that pattern. I don't want to go into that overthinking of thinking negative. And suddenly you push your brain and put three positive thoughts one by one by one. So in the beginning, there is a chance that another negative thought might pop up after the three positive thoughts. So you'll again go back to the three positive, some random positive thoughts. It can be from now, it can be from your past, it can be even from your future. But those three thoughts have to be positive. Now what happens is our brain is continuously putting certain I would say statements, certain thoughts in our mind. But what you're doing is you're breaking it by countering it with three positive thoughts. Now, every time you do that, you will realize that after some time, these number of negative thoughts will start reducing, because your brain will start feeling that every time I put that thought, there is something else that comes in. So what is happening? There will be it won't be in sync. There won't be any synchronization of your negative thoughts with another negative thought. There will be a fight between your negative thoughts and your positive thoughts. So your mind will stop putting those negative thoughts over a period of time. Now this takes little bit of time. You need to be patient, but there will be a change in your mindset. There will be a change in your way of thinking, your thought process, because every time you think of a negative thought, you're countering it with three positive thoughts. And it's not one, it's not two, it's three positive thoughts. So automatically your brain will stop throwing those negative thoughts at you. And this is a proven method. So you can try this as well. The second technique, or the second step, is something that I call as a top 5 list. Now, what you have to do in this is take 5-10 minutes, in your day, or right now after the session, write down 5 top things that you really, really desire. Something that you really want to do. It could be anything. And a lot of times I have told this particular technique to students, and they have come back and told me that they have felt a change in their way of learning, the way of they have been learning, and the way they have been doing things. They have seen a change in that. So it can be for anybody and everybody, and even for your children, you can tell them to do this as well. And if there are any students in this in the audience, they can use this technique. So top 5 things that you really desire. Now, it could be for your own personal growth. It could be for your for the things that you want and you want in your life. It could be for that. And basically, it's something that whatever you want in your life, you will write down those top 5 things. Now, it's a little bit different from law of attraction. A lot of people have told me that this looks like law of attraction, but it's not entirely, because here there is a lot of conscious efforts that you're putting, conscious thoughts that you're putting into it. So once you put down all the top 5 things that you have written, this requires a little bit of meditative, meditative thought process, because when you're doing this particular activity or this step, it's important that you focus a bit also. So after you have written it down, go into a place in your house where you are comfortable, where nobody will disturb you for 5-10 minutes. Sit down, do a little bit of deep breath, deep breathing. And after that, just remind yourself of all these 5 things. And you can do this twice in a day, morning or evening, or you can do once in a day as well. Now, what happens here again is that these 5 things, when you keep repeating it, you're training your mind to think from the perspective of achieving these 5 things. Now, how will you achieve? For instance, if I have to give an example of a student. Now, a student wants that, they should get good numbers or good marks in their exams. So instead of saying in the statement that I want good marks in my paper, because that's something that's a result, what one can write is that I would like to have a better retention power. I should be able to retain more information, and I should be able to have better memory. So they can write 4-5 statements where one can be for retaining more, more of what you're learning, and the other can be for your memory, that my memory becomes strong. So the idea here is not just about achieving the result. The idea here is how are you going to achieve that result? So you have to mention those 5 statements in your top 5 list. And also make sure that, when you're writing these sentences, make sure that they are positive in nature. So in case if you feel that, you get angry a lot, or you feel that, there is a lot of anger that is there, and I want to get over that anger. So instead of writing, I don't want to get angry, or I don't want to feel anger. No, that's not how you have to write. You will be writing something like, I want to feel calmer. I want to feel more in control of my emotions. So something in those lines is what you have to write in order to make it more strong in terms of achieving it, and making it more relevant to what you really truly desire. So this is the top 5 list, which you can use as well. But like I said, it's best used when you're in a focused mind, and when you repeat that in your focused mind. So meditation helps a lot when you're repeating it instead of just repeating it whole day. So just use it as a thing which you will do during your meditation. The third technique, or the third step, is a very interesting thing, because it is something that I truly believe in, and it is something that I probably have only become stronger in believing it, because I have seen how it has changed not just my life, but all the people's life, whoever has followed it. So I call it the 3 mantras of life. Now, why I said 3 mantras is because these are those statements which, if you really truly believe in it and truly start working towards it, it will have such a deep impact in your life, because there will be a complete shift in your mindset the more you believe in it, and the more you put it in your daily life, put it in your thought process, in your daily thought process as well, that you will see that there will be a complete transformation of how you lead your life, and how you can make your life better as well. So let me share those 3 mantras. So the first mantra that I truly believe in, and I feel that one should have complete, absolute belief in it as well, is that every adversity or every difficult situation that you come across comes with a creative solution. Now, a lot of times, we think about difficult times and we say that there can't be any solution. I can't think of any solution. So sometimes, the solution is not in front of you. So when I say creative solution, simply means being creative in your way of looking at the solution. It also means that thinking outside the box, but it also means not just looking at what is the obvious solution to any difficult problem or any difficult situation that you're going through. Sometimes you have to go beyond it. You have to think of different solutions. Think of a solution which you might not even believe in it before, but then think about it, work on it. Maybe that could be the right solution for you. So it's a creative solution. So every adversity comes with a creative solution. That's the first mantra that I believe in. The second mantra is that every difficult situation brings with it some learning, or some learning is hidden in it. Now, a lot of times people have told me that, I've gone through such difficult times and I don't see any learning in it. And I really have to tell them that, think about it. There will be some learning. And when they go a little deep into it, they really realize that, every difficult situation has some learning in it. Even if it is as simple as a thing that, you became stronger as a person. It is, while I'm saying that it is simple, but it is something that has changed you to become a better person. So that again is a learning for you. So every difficult situation has some learning hidden in it. And it's hidden because it's not really something which is right there in front of you. It's something which you really have to dig deep and introspect, retrospect, and find that learning. So sometimes we have to find that learning. And when we find it, then that difficult situation doesn't become a traumatizing situation or a situation that caused us harm. Then we start looking at the same difficult situation from a perspective of thinking that maybe it was something good. So that again changes our mindset. Now, the third and a very important mantra is that every difficult situation has something good that comes with it. Now, again, you might think that how can a good difficult situation or a bad situation bring something good in it? But there is definitely something good that you can find, in a difficult situation also. It takes time to accept it. A lot of people find it really hard to accept the fact that every difficult situation will bring something good with it. But if you look at it from a very open mindset and open thought process, you will be able to see that there will be something good that will come out of every difficult situation, no matter how difficult it might have been. If you really go deep into it, you will be able to look for that something good in it. Something good can be in the form of a relationship becoming better. Something good can be some change coming in the other person also, some change coming in you as a person as well. So that are the good things that I'm talking about. It could be those good things which are not really visible to you, but if you really dig deep and you really introspect, you will be able to find answers to it. So these are the three mantras. I'll repeat it once again. The first is every adversity comes with a creative solution. The second is every difficult situation has some learning hidden in it. And the third is that every difficult situation has something good coming out of it as a result of it. So these are the three mantras that have a deep, deep impact to your belief system and to your mindset if you start practicing it. So these are the three steps that I just mentioned, the 3-step guide in a very simple, in a brief way as well. But these, like I said, have a very deep impact. So the words, thoughts, and mindset, like I mentioned in the beginning, if you look at it, all the 3 steps have some kind of connection with all these 3 aspects, the words, thoughts, and mindset. So the 3 mantras are connected to the mindset. The ++3 technique is connected to our thoughts, because a negative thought has to be followed by 3 positive thoughts. So your thoughts are taken care of when you, practice this particular step. And the words are, the things which I've talked about in the top 5 list. Like I said, use positive words in the statements of the top 5 list. So that's the connection between words and the top 5 list. So all the 3 will be taken care of if you follow all the 3 steps one by one, or if you want to, together bring it all together and start following it all together, it will also help you a lot. It will really give you a lot of change in the way you look at yourself or look at your life as well. So I think I've had quite a long talk and quite a long chat with you all about that. And I'm going to do a quick meditation session right now, uh, only because we would take the questions, I think, after the session, after the meditation session. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a short, brief guided meditation. However, this is one way by which you can also practice it at home. It's not very difficult. Whatever I will be giving you as instructions, those are the instructions. You can follow it when you're doing it on your own as well. So we can do a quick meditation now. I would want all of you to, take a position or take a place where you feel comfortable. If you're sitting on a chair, then maybe you can put your feet on the ground. You can remove your footwear and just put your feet on the ground. You can put your, hands palm up on your thighs, rest it on your thighs. Just relax yourself, take back rest. Once you're done with that, and if you're sitting somewhere where you're sitting on a bed, you can crisscross your legs and then sit, putting your palms up on the thigh, resting it on the thigh. And then you can close your eyes. And like I said, just relax your body. We'll start with deep breathing. And then I'm going to give you some instructions, which I would like you to follow it. So you can close your eyes and start just breathing normally for now. Just regular breathe in and just breathe out. If any thoughts are coming in, just let it come. Don't give attention to it. Just listen to my voice and listen to your breath. Now I want you to take a deep breath in, hold it in, and exhale it out. Take a deep breath in, hold it, exhale it out. A deep breath in, hold it, exhale it out. One more time. Deep breath in, hold it, and exhale it out. Even if anything is coming in your mind, any thoughts, bring your focus back into breathing. Feel your body, how your stomach is going in and going out every time you breathe in and breathe out. Bring your focus to your breathing now. Just see how you feel when you're breathing in and breathing out. Every time a thought comes in, bring your focus to your breathing in and breathing out. With every breath in that you take, feel that there is some energy which is going inside you. And with every breath out, feel that you're releasing the stress, the pressures, the pain. anything that pulls you down. Just feel that it's all getting released. Again, another breath in. Feel the energy getting inside. And with the breath out, feel that the stress is getting released. Start with your mind, with your head, anything that you're holding on to. Just tell yourself that I want to release it. With every breath out, I release my stress, I release my pain, and I release anything that pulls me down. And as you breathe, take the breath in, feel the relaxation coming in. And as you breathe out, feel the stress and pressures getting out of your neck, from your shoulders. You're feeling relaxed with every breath out, and with every breath in, you're feeling lighter in your shoulders, in your neck. Once again, as you breathe in, feel that your heart chakra, your chest area, is releasing with every breath out. It's releasing the pain, the heaviness, the emotional buildup. Just tell yourself that I want to release all the pain, all the fears, all the emotional buildup as I breathe out. And as you breathe in, feel the relaxation setting in. Feel the lightness coming in. Feel that you're feeling and experiencing lightness. Once again, as you breathe in, feel that you're getting more and more relaxed. And as you breathe out, go towards your stomach and release all the pain, all the stress, any anxiety that you're holding on to, release that also. And as you breathe out, you are releasing anything that is upsetting your stomach area, anything that is causing acidity or indigestion as well. All that will be released because you have released the blockages from here. As you go down towards your pelvic area, towards your legs, now towards your feet, release all of that right from your pelvic area to your legs. Release the pain. Release the blockages that have got formed over the years. Any emotional buildup, any fear. Tell yourself, I'm releasing all of it. As you breathe in, feel the lightness in your legs. Feel the energy coming in your legs. feel that you're relaxed. With your palms up in your hands, whoever you pray to, Almighty, visualize on that God, on that Almighty. And if you don't pray to anyone, visualize yourself and ask for the strength. And as you ask, take a deep breath in. Feel that energy going inside you. Feel that strength going inside you. That is the strength that will help you to keep you strong, to keep you positive. Do it one more time. Take the energy in from your palms. Feel that energy going inside your body, spreading right from the head to your legs, to every part, to every inch of your body. And you can close your fist, and the energy will remain within you. Every time or any time you feel low, experience the same energy. As you close your fist, you will be able to experience the same energy that you just took it in. Take one more breath in and breathe out. Now slowly bring your attention back to your surroundings, and you can slowly open your eyes. Oh, great. You've all succeeded in releasing all that emotional built up, all that stress, all that pressures, and also gain some energy. All that energy that you have gained, remember that energy will be within you. You have to just remind yourself of that energy, and you will be able to help yourself in every situation. So I want to know, how did you find this entire experience of the meditation? Put it on the chat box as well. And I would really want to know any questions that you have, anything that you would like to ask. So Preeti,
Yes,
maybe
yes,
you
there are
can.
quite a few questions coming in, but I think we're
Sure.
just hearing. I feel amazing. I feel great, wonderful, very positive, very helpful. Thank you. Excellent experience. Awesome. Excellent, feeling very relaxed, wonderful session, feeling good. So, a lot of people, very positive vibes coming through. So the first question I would like to take is from Sapna, a difficult one, but a very pertinent one. Go ahead, Sapna. Please ask your question.
I just wanted to ask what's good about when you have a personal loss and someone very dear and a young age.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. So,
How do you
yes.
take it that?
No, that's a very, very important and a pertinent question. It is something that is not easily answerable also, I would say. It's not something that I can also anytime say that no, it is good that this has happened. No, I'm not going to say that, and I don't believe that also. However, in a personal loss, especially at a young age, see, there are many
I know
answers
it's
to
very
that.
difficult. Sorry, I know it's very difficult to answer. And I'm
No,
not
it's
looking
not.
for the answers. It's just how to cope
Yeah.
with that. Huh.
So the coping up is in the solution that you're looking for. The coping up part. See, there are different ways on how one can cope up, and everybody has different coping mechanisms as well. However, in such a situation, usually, and I've had many such experiences where people have come to me seeking help and seeking healing for such situations. The only solution in such situations is one, that one needs to accept that this was supposed to happen. Now, why did it happen? What could be the reason behind it? There can be n number of reasons, n number of answers to that. But I usually say that this was something that one needs to accept, that this had to happen. Acceptance has to be there. As long as we are able to accept in this kind of a situation, only then we can move forward. And I'm not saying that one needs to control their emotions or control themselves. No, the idea is to actually go through the process of, whether it is the grieving process, whether it is the process where you just let go of your emotions, even if it is in the form of crying, even if it is in the form of writing, anything. But you have to let go of your emotions. You have to completely release all that grief, all that sometimes anger. One also has anger when somebody loses a person at a young age. All that, one needs to let go of it. One needs to release it. One way of releasing, and a peaceful way of releasing, is through meditation. However, the other way is to just go through the whole process, go through the whole, time that you would take in order to grieve in that kind of a situation. That's the first part. The second part is where you understand that if that person has left, like I said, the acceptance has to be there. But the other part is that if that person has left earlier than what was, what was right, or the right kind of age, that simply means that maybe now certain souls, now this is, I'm going in a different direction, but I have to answer you this particular question. So certain souls come into this world for a particular purpose, and when that purpose is fulfilled, they have to go, whether that age doesn't really matter at that point in time. So sometimes one needs to accept the fact that maybe whatever that purpose was for them to come here for, that got fulfilled and they had to go. Now, it is difficult to accept it, but that's the only way by which you can move forward, because you're still in this world and you have to move forward. You have to continue, living the remaining part of your life. So in order to do that, the only way is to accept that situation in a way by which you understand that it had to happen, and the person who had come here, his purpose got fulfilled and he had to go, he or she. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, no, it's very difficult. The next question we will take from Megha Agarwal. Megha, go ahead.
Hi मैम, good evening.
Good
I'd like
evening.
to question कि ऐसा होता है कि हम लोगों से बहुत ज्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस हो जाते हैं, ठीक है। आप अपनी फैमिली तक अपने इमोशंस रखते हो तब तक ठीक है, लाइक आपके फैमिली वाले आपको कुछ अच्छा बुरा बोलते हैं, आप उनसे इन्फ्लुएंस होते हो तब तक ठीक है। लेकिन ऐसा हो जाता है कि आप बाहर वालों से भी इन्फ्लुएंस हो रहे हो, लाइक बाहर वाले अगर आपके बारे में कुछ बोल देते हैं तो आप सैड हो जाते हो, कुछ अच्छा बोल देते हैं आप खुश हो जाते हो। उसको कैसे कंट्रोल करें, लाइक हाउ कैन वी मेंटेन द बैलेंस बिटवीन व्हाटएवर पीपल आर सेइंग, और हम अपना इमोशंस कैसे अपने तक रखें?
जैसे मैंने आपको पहले भी बोला था कि वर्ड्स, थॉट्स एंड माइंडसेट जो हमने बात करी थी, अब ये वर्ड्स जो हैं हम अपने लिए भी बोलते हैं, but at the same time we are also listening in from others, we are also listening to the words that people are talking about. Now we have a choice कि हम कौन से words को हम accept करें और कौन से words को हम reject करें. So अगर हमारे लिए कोई गलत बोल रहा है या हमारे लिए कोई ऐसी बात बोली जा रही है जो हमें नहीं सुननी है, नहीं सुनने चाहिए, तो हम उसको रिजेक्ट कर सकते हैं, in the sense that we can call it a invisible curtain in front of you and say that I'm rejecting these words that are coming towards me. I'm not going to accept it, even if it is coming from a very close person, very loved person. They can have their own opinions about you. If you don't accept it, if you don't believe in it, then there is a point where you can put a curtain in front of you and say that I don't want to. I make a conscious choice in not accepting the words that are coming towards me, because these are, जो भी आपको बातें कोई बोलेगा तो वो words ही होंगे ना, जिस तरीके से बातें लोग बोलते हैं, तो वो words को आपने reject करना है. Once you are able to reject those words, which is a conscious effort, तो आप उन वर्ड्स से इफेक्ट नहीं होगे, आप कोई ऐसे थॉट्स नहीं क्रिएट करोगे which will have a deep impact in your mindset. So that's the way you can move forward.
Okay, thank you so much.
No
We'll
problem.
take the next question from Richa. Richa, go ahead.
Hi, Ekta ma'am.
Hi.
You were saying that when we make the top 5 list, we should mention a few things needed to get to the result rather than talk about the result itself. So let's say if we have a list of 4 or 5 things that we really want to do you suggest that we make a step-by-step sort of have your goal in mind and then put down all the steps required to get there, or how would you go about it? And my
So,
second question, sorry if I can just
sorry,
finish off,
go
I have
ahead,
a
go ahead.
second part to my question.
Sure.
When we were talking about mantras, you said, you always get stronger at the end of a difficult situation. I don't agree too much. Sometimes we come off a little, like we can break down as well. Depends from person to person, or depends on the situation as well. So, ma'am, how do you suggest we handle that? Thank you.
So that's a very interesting question and very, I think, important for everybody to know about it as well. So like you said, the first part, I'll take the first part, which was about the top 5 list. Yes, you can have one goal in mind and you can have different steps to it. You can do it that way also. Like I said, it's not just about the result only. Now, for instance, a person wants to let go of their anger. So they want to say that I don't want to get angry. Now, that's a result. But the way I would put it up is I want to feel calmer, or I want to I want to be in control of my emotions. So something in those lines can be put. Or if you, like you said, mentioned that it could be steps to what you want to reach, it can also be that. The only thing you need to remember is that it should be positive. Those statements should be positive. Those statements should not have words which are already negative, because this is something that you're putting in your subconscious, which will help you to make a conscious change in your mindset, in your thinking process and everything. So every time you repeat these 5 sentences or repeat these 5 statements during your meditative space, you're basically bringing a change in your mindset. So it is better to use only positive statements. That's the first, that's the answer to your first part. Now the second part, so what I meant by saying is stronger was an example that, with every difficult situation, when you come out of it, one of the ways or one of the things that you can achieve for some people can be also that, one becomes stronger out of it. Yes, there can be times when you might break down, but while you break down, was there something that came out of breaking down? Well, it could be as simple as you met a person who helped you later on in becoming better, as a better version of yourself. So that was the good part that came out of it. So even in a breakdown kind of a situation, you can think about something good or some kind of learning that you achieved from that particular situation. So it's not just about becoming stronger. It can be anything. The only part is that you have to dig a little deep to find what exactly did I achieve or did I get out of this particular situation. Even if it was the worst of the situation, was there anything? It could be memories. It could be some good memories that you had with another person, and maybe you lost touch with that person later on in life. So it could be those memories that you can also talk about, that yes, I had some good memories. So it can be anything good that came out of any difficult situation.
Thank you. I apologize if we can't get to all the questions, but we'll be taking our last question, Radhika. Radhika, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Ekta, for the session. It was really good. My question for the day is, people criticize you a lot. Sometimes you take it positively, but sometimes it pulls you down. How do you handle that situation? Because you end up losing your self-confidence in the long run, and you become a people pleaser. But still, you're not happy with your situation. How do you handle that?
See, this was a question that was asked earlier as well, but I'll still answer again. It all comes down to the words, thoughts, mindset, which I talked about in the beginning of the session, because these are the 3 aspects that have a deep, deep impact on our on our life. It's not just about our thinking, it's about our life. Like you said, that, there are times when people would say certain things which will pull us down, or which will make us feel unworthy as well. So how does that happen? It all starts with the fact that certain people will speak certain words at you, or towards you, or say to you. Now, these are the words that you have a choice whether you want to accept it or you want to reject. So if you think that this person, whatever they are saying, even if they are loved ones, they might be thinking from their own perspective. Even if they're saying something which you don't completely believe in, and which you feel that it's not completely right for me to accept it, because it can have much more deeper negative impact on me, so let me not accept it in this way. Let me probably look at it from a different angle, maybe later when I'm able to work towards it. Till the time I'm not able to work towards it, I can keep it the way it is. So as of now, what you can do is that you can reject those words coming towards you, so that they don't build up into a thought process that leads to creating a mindset. So you reject those words by saying that I don't accept these words for myself, and I don't want to think about it. Maybe later on, when I'm in when I'm in a stronger uh, thought process, maybe then I will take it up, but right now I don't want to take it up. So you can do that as well.
Well, thank you, Ekta. Thank you very, very much for this excellent section. This
So
three-step.
Katie, about the handout, I wanted to tell everyone about the handout also. So if you can share that with everyone.
Yeah, we will try to share it. I'm not sure if we can share but we will try to put it on our Facebook page and people can get it from there.
Or we can do a share screen as well if you want to do that, so that they can see it.
I don't think
they can probably, if they are.
Do you want to share it?
I'm sorry?
Do you have it? Do you want to share it?
I can share it from here. I'll have to open that document once.
We will put it on our Facebook page, so it will be there. People can download it from there. But Ekta, I think we're coming to the end of the session. So the three-step guide to emotional wellness. I think you've talked a lot about words, thoughts, and mindset. Any last tips before we end for the evening today?
Sure, just 1 second. So I've shared my screen. And if everybody can see it.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it visible, Sukriti?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So as a last tip, and people can, if you want, you can take a snapshot of this and keep it with you. So as a last tip that I would like to tell everyone is that when we talk about mind, when we talk about emotions, it's very important to understand that nothing happens in one go. Nothing happens when we think that we have done it 10 times, now it should happen. There is no number to it. The idea of telling you about these techniques, the idea of telling you about these concept of words, thoughts, and mindset is only to make you more consciously aware about the fact that how things can have an impact on you, and how you can bring that change in yourself. And at the same time, these techniques are some things that you need to practice. And like I said in the beginning of the session also, that these techniques are something that you need to make it as a way of life. The more you'll practice, the more you'll create it as a way of life in your life, you'll be able to see the change eventually. But it is not that today you have started thinking and tomorrow you see a change. It doesn't happen and doesn't work like that. But as you progress in your life, you will see that there has been a upward progressive change if you follow these tips that I've just shared.
Well, thank you. And thank you all for joining us today. We wish you all a good evening. Thank you, Ekta, for sharing these insights with us.
My pleasure for having me here, and it's been a great session for me as well. Some great questions coming there. So thank you so much for having me here, Sipping Thoughts, and Sukriti as well.
With that, we wish you all a good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.